What would you do if you saw a tourist unleash their dog on a royal guard? It's a scenario that seems unthinkable, yet it unfolded right before a shocked crowd at Buckingham Palace. As onlookers gasped in disbelief, the situation took an unexpected turn. The guard's response left everyone speechless, challenging everything we thought we knew about authority and control. The sun beat down on Buckingham Palace as Marcus Reed approached the guard post. His confident swagger and flashy attire, cargo shorts and a tank top showcasing muscular arms, stood out among the tourists. At the end of a short leash trotted Cupcake, his English bulldog, her wrinkled face set in a permanent scowl. Reed's cocky demeanor contrasted sharply with guard James Harrison's stoic stance. The guard's red tunic and bearskin hat embodied centuries of tradition, his eyes fixed ahead as Reed drew closer. "Well, well, well, if it isn't one of Her Majesty's finest toy soldiers," Reed called out, his voice dripping with false sweetness. "What's the matter, mate? Cat got your tongue?" Onlookers shifted uncomfortably, sensing the brewing confrontation. A mother hurried her children away, while others watched with a mix of fascination and horror. Harrison remained motionless, years of discipline evident in every line of his body. But even he couldn't help feeling a twinge of annoyance at Reed's persistent taunts. "You know, I've always wondered what it takes to make one of you crack," Reed continued, his voice growing louder and more aggressive. "Bet you're not so tough without that fancy hat and rifle, are you?" The air crackled with tension as Reed positioned himself mere feet from Harrison. His fingers played with Cupcake's leash clip, a cruel smile spreading across his face. "What do you say we liven things up a bit, eh? I bet Cupcake here could use a nice chew toy." Harrison's mind raced behind his impassive expression. He had dealt with hecklers before, but never one so brazen or potentially dangerous. Reed leaned in close, his breath hot on Harrison's face. "Come on, mate, give us a smile. Or are you too scared to move without the Queen's permission?" In that moment, Harrison caught a glimpse of something in Reed's eyes. A flicker of desperation, a need for attention that spoke of deeper insecurities. The guard's anger began to fade, replaced by a sense of pity. Cupcake growled low in her throat, picking up on her owner's agitation. Reed's grip on the leash tightened. "What do you say, girl? Should we show this stiff what real power looks like?" The crowd held its collective breath, waiting to see what would happen next. Harrison weighed his options: break protocol and defend himself, or maintain his stance and hope Reed wouldn't follow through on his implied threat. Just as the tension reached its breaking point, a voice cut through the air. "Marcus Reed! What in God's name do you think you're doing?" All eyes turned to see an older woman pushing her way through the crowd, her face a mix of anger and embarrassment. Reed's demeanor changed instantly. The cocky grin fell from his face, replaced by sheepish guilt. "Mum, what are you doing here?" "I'm here to stop my idiot son from making a complete fool of himself," she snapped, grabbing Reed by the ear. "Apologize to this man right now, and then we're leaving." Reed mumbled an apology, unable to meet Harrison's eyes. His mother turned to the guard, her voice softening. "I'm so sorry for my son's behavior. He's always been a troublemaker, but this is a new low." As Reed's mother dragged him away, lecturing him loudly about respect and decency, the tension in the air dissipated. Tourists began to disperse, some laughing nervously, others shaking their heads in disbelief. As the last chuckles faded, a low growl cut through the courtyard. The crowd's eyes widened as they saw Cupcake, unleashed and snarling. The metallic click of the leash unclipping silenced the murmurs. In an instant, the atmosphere shifted from relief to horror. Cupcake's muscles bunched as he lunged forward. Like a sudden storm, the bulldog charged towards Harrison, who stood motionless in his red tunic and bearskin hat. Time slowed as Cupcake closed the distance, each bark a clap of thunder. Harrison's mind raced, years of training crystallizing into this moment. His eyes locked onto Cupcake, reading the dog's body language with practiced precision. He noted the raised hackles, the forward-set ears, the tensed muscles, all clear signs of aggression. The crowd's screams turned to stunned silence as Harrison made his move. With fluid precision, the guard's white-gloved hands reached out. As Cupcake leaped, Harrison's fingers found their mark. In mid-air, Cupcake's charge transformed. The aggression melted away as Harrison applied gentle pressure to specific points on the dog's body. The onlookers watched in disbelief, unable to reconcile the snarling beast with the suddenly docile animal before them. Harrison guided Cupcake to the ground with gentle authority. The bulldog's muscles relaxed under the guard's touch. A collective gasp rippled through the crowd. "Impossible," someone whispered. Harrison maintained his calm demeanor, his face a mask of concentration. Within moments, Cupcake sat obediently at Harrison's feet, looking up with admiration. The crowd watched, transfixed, as Harrison knelt beside Cupcake. His white gloves contrasted with the dog's brindle coat as he stroked its head. Cupcake leaned into the touch, earlier aggression forgotten. "How did he do that?" a woman asked, her voice filled with awe. Her question broke the spell. Murmurs of amazement rippled through the crowd, growing louder as people processed what they had witnessed. Harrison's actions had demonstrated the effectiveness of proper training and handling techniques. In mere moments, he had transformed a dangerous situation into a peaceful one. His calm authority had not only neutralized the threat, but had also shown the potential for rehabilitation in misused or poorly trained dogs. As the shock wore off, people edged closer, curious to see Cupcake up close. The bulldog, now content, allowed children to pat his head gently. Harrison stood nearby, watchful but relaxed. A young boy tugged on his mother's sleeve. "Mom, can we get a dog like that?" he asked, eyes shining with admiration. His mother laughed nervously. "Maybe we should start with a goldfish, love," she replied, casting a wary glance at Harrison. The guard's lips twitched in the barest hint of a smile, the first break in his stoic demeanor. It was clear that his understanding of canine behavior went far beyond simple obedience training. His actions had demonstrated a deep respect for animals and an ability to communicate with them on their level. As the excitement began to die down, a police officer made his way through the crowd. He approached Harrison, notepad in hand, ready to take a statement. Harrison's posture straightened if possible, even more as he prepared to give his report. As the police officer approached, Harrison's posture shifted subtly. The crowd leaned in, anticipating a routine incident report. But what unfolded next left them spellbound. Harrison's voice, rich with authority and warmth, carried across the courtyard. "Officer, if I may," he began, addressing both the policeman and the onlookers. "What we've witnessed here today is a testament to the noble lineage and potential of working dogs like Cupcake." The bulldog, now sitting contentedly at Harrison's feet, wagged his stubby tail. Reed's face contorted in disbelief as he watched his former weapon transformed into an eager student. Harrison's hands moved with practiced efficiency, guiding Cupcake through a series of commands. The crowd watched, captivated by the unexpected lesson unfolding before them. It was as if a master conductor had taken the stage, transforming chaos into harmony with a mere flick of the wrist. "You see," Harrison continued, his voice steady and clear, "breeds like Cupcake have a proud history of service. They've stood alongside military and police units for generations, chosen for their intelligence and loyalty." A murmur of surprise rippled through the audience. The image of the snarling beast from earlier seemed to fade, replaced by a newfound appreciation for the stocky, wrinkled dog now sitting attentively. Harrison's expertise was evident in every movement, every word. This was no mere recitation of facts, but a demonstration of deep knowledge and passion. He spoke of the Royal Army Veterinary Corps and their crucial role in training dogs like Cupcake, seamlessly weaving this information into his demonstration. Cupcake as a tool for intimidation. The animal protection officer's presence seemed to deflate Reed entirely. His shoulders slumped, and for the first time since the incident began, he fell silent. The facade of toughness he had so carefully constructed was crumbling before everyone's eyes. As the officers began to take Reed's statement, the true motivation behind his actions started to emerge. It wasn't about proving his toughness or showing off his dog's abilities. Instead, Reed's behavior stemmed from a deep-seated insecurity, a desperate need to assert dominance in a situation where he felt small and insignificant. The contrast between Reed and Harrison couldn't have been starker. While Reed had tried to command respect through aggression and intimidation, Harrison had earned it through his calm authority and genuine skill. The crowd, once divided in their reactions, now stood united in their admiration for the royal guard and their disdain for the tourist who had so grossly misjudged the situation. As Reed was led away for further questioning, the atmosphere in the courtyard began to shift. The tension that had gripped the onlookers slowly dissipated, replaced by a sense of relief and even a touch of excitement. People began to chat animatedly, recounting the events they had just witnessed and marveling at Harrison's handling of the situation. Harrison's return to his post revealed a new depth beneath the ceremonial exterior, challenging everything the onlookers thought they knew about the royal guards. Parents knelt beside their wide-eyed children, seizing the opportunity to impart an unexpected lesson. "Did you see how the guard calmed the dog?" a mother asked her son. "That's what real strength looks like. It's about handling tough situations with calm and respect." The boy nodded, his gaze fixed on Harrison. "But why didn't he yell or use his gun?" he asked, puzzled. His mother smiled. "Because true authority doesn't need to rely on fear. The guard showed us that being in charge means having the right training and using it wisely." Harrison resumed his post with military precision, but something had changed. The crowd watched him with new eyes, seeing beyond the red tunic and bearskin hat. They noticed the subtle readiness in his stance, the alert awareness in his eyes. A group of tourists huddled together, their voices low but excited. "I always thought these guards were just for show," one woman admitted. "But did you see how he handled that dog? That was incredible." Her companion nodded. "It makes you wonder what else they're capable of." The sergeant's quiet words to Harrison, overheard by a few nearby onlookers, only added to the intrigue. "Well done, Harrison. The colonel will be pleased to hear how you applied your special training." As the excitement settled, the transformation of Cupcake became a powerful metaphor. They had watched as a snarling, aggressive animal had been turned into a calm, obedient companion through Harrison's expert handling. A psychology student found herself captivated by the implications. "It's fascinating," she mused to her friend. "We just saw a perfect example of how authority doesn't have to be about dominance or fear. That guard used understanding and proper technique to completely change the dog's behavior." Her friend nodded thoughtfully. "You're right. And think about how that applies to people too. If that approach works on an aggressive dog, imagine how effective it could be in dealing with difficult people or tense situations." The crowd's whispers carried a newfound respect for the guard's training. People who had once seen them as mere tourist attractions now recognized them as highly skilled professionals. This shift in perception extended beyond just the guards. Many in the crowd found themselves reconsidering their views on authority in general. The incident had provided a powerful counterexample to the idea that strength meant aggression or that authority required intimidation. A teacher in the crowd saw an opportunity. Gathering her students, she posed a question. "How did the guard's response challenge what we usually think about authority?" The students, still buzzing with excitement, were eager to share their thoughts. One girl raised her hand. "It showed that being strong doesn't mean being scary. The guard was super calm, but he was still in control." Another student chimed in. "Yeah, and he didn't need to hurt the dog to stop it. He just knew the right way to handle it. That's way more impressive than if he just yelled or used force." As the animal protection officers prepared to leave with Cupcake, an unexpected pause filled the air. The bulldog's eyes darted between Harrison and the officers, his body language a mix of confusion and longing. The crowd held their breath, wondering what would happen next. Harrison, sensing the dog's inner conflict, knelt down. His pristine white gloves contrasted sharply with Cupcake's brown coat. The royal guard's face softened, revealing a side of him the onlookers had never seen before. The strict formality of his position melted away, replaced by a genuine connection with the animal before him. Cupcake's tail began to wag, slowly at first, then with increasing enthusiasm. The bulldog seemed to recognize something in Harrison, a kindred spirit of service and discipline. Their eyes locked in mutual understanding, their connection palpable, like two hearts finding the same rhythm in a sea of chaos. Harrison's hands moved with practiced ease, guiding Cupcake through a series of commands. "Sit," he said softly, and Cupcake's haunches lowered to the ground. "Stay," came the next command, and the dog remained perfectly still, his eyes never leaving Harrison's face. The crowd's whispers grew as they witnessed this transformation. Harrison's calm voice carried across the courtyard. "What you're seeing here is the result of mutual respect and understanding. Cupcake has the capacity for incredible obedience and loyalty when treated with kindness and given clear direction." The animal protection officer nodded in agreement. The bond between handlers and working dogs is often characterized by this kind of mutual respect. It allows for effective communication and training, crucial in high-stress situations. Harrison continued, "In cases where animals have been mistreated or poorly trained, rehabilitation is possible. It's about retraining them to recognize authority and respond positively to commands. With patience and the right approach, even a dog that has shown aggression can become a reliable companion or service animal." As if to prove Harrison's point, Cupcake sat calmly at his feet, looking up at him with adoring eyes. The transformation from the snarling, aggressive dog of earlier to this obedient and attentive animal was remarkable. A psychology student in the crowd spoke up. "This is fascinating. We're seeing a real-time example of how unexpected behaviors in high-stress situations can stem from an animal's previous experiences and training." Harrison nodded, appreciating the insight. In situations like this, animals often display signs of confusion and conflict. It's our job as handlers to provide clear, consistent guidance to help them navigate these challenging moments. As the time came for Cupcake to leave with the officers, Harrison gave one final command. The bulldog stood at attention, then performed a series of intricate movements that left the crowd gasping in amazement. It was a display of intelligence and training that few had ever witnessed in a civilian dog. "Remember," Harrison said, addressing the onlookers, "with proper training and handling, even dogs with a difficult start can become invaluable companions and workers. It's about patience, understanding, and recognizing the potential in every animal." The incident at Buckingham Palace challenged perceptions and sparked reflection on our responsibilities toward animals. Cupcake's transformation under Harrison's guidance illustrated the potential for rehabilitation, revealing how respect and compassion can overcome volatile situations. The crowd's experience served as a call to action, encouraging proper training and respect for all animals. As the crowd dispersed, they carried a newfound appreciation for those who serve, their understanding of strength and duty forever altered. The event's impact rippled beyond the palace gates, inspiring discussions about real strength and authority. This incident showed that true strength lies not in intimidation, but in compassion and expertise.